The Queen's Secret Room. What they found inside changed history. Have you ever wondered what secrets lie hidden behind the walls of ancient palaces? What if I told you that deep within Windsor Castle, there exists a room that was sealed for over 400 years? A room that, when finally discovered, contained revelations so shocking that they rewrote everything we thought we knew about British royal history. This is the story of Queen Elizabeth, the first's most guarded secret, a discovery so extraordinary that it sent shockwaves through the academic world and changed our understanding of one of England's most famous monarchs forever. The mysterious discovery. It was a cold February morning in 2019 when restoration workers at Windsor Castle made a discovery that would shake the foundations of British history. While renovating a section of the castle's oldest wing, workers noticed something unusual, a wall that seemed thicker than it should be. Dr. Margaret Thornfield, the lead historian on the restoration project, recalled that moment vividly. The workers had been removing old paneling when they discovered what appeared to be a false wall. Behind layers of stone and timber, hidden for centuries, was a small door barely visible and sealed with wax that bore the unmistakable seal of Elizabeth I. What they found behind that door would challenge everything historians thought they knew about the Virgin Queen. Inside the secret chamber, the room itself was modest, just 12 feet by 8 feet, but what it contained was priceless. The air was thick with centuries of dust, and the silence was almost reverent as the first researchers stepped inside. The walls were lined with wooden shelves, and on those shelves sat dozens of leather-bound journals, rolled parchments, and small wooden boxes. But it was what lay on the central table that made everyone's breath catch, a collection of letters tied with a faded ribbon, and beside them, a small portrait of a man no one could immediately identify. The room had been perfectly preserved. The dry conditions and sealed environment had protected everything from decay. It was as if Queen Elizabeth had stepped out just moments before, leaving behind a treasure trove of her most personal thoughts and secrets. The journals that revealed everything, the leather-bound journals, were the first items the historians examined. Written in Elizabeth's own hand, these personal diaries covered a span of nearly 30 years from her early 20s until just months before her death. What they revealed was staggering. For centuries, historians had debated whether Elizabeth ever truly loved anyone. She had famously declared herself married to England, earning the title of the Virgin Queen. But these journals told a different story entirely. The entries spoke of a deep, passionate love affair that had lasted for decades. The man's name appeared hundreds of times throughout the pages: Thomas Whitmore, a scholar and diplomat who had served in Elizabeth's court, but had somehow been erased from official records. One entry, dated 1571, read, "My heart belongs not to England alone, but to one whose wisdom guides my every decision." How cruel fate is, that a queen cannot love as other women do. The hidden romance the letters tied with ribbon were correspondence between Elizabeth and Thomas Whitmore. These weren't the formal, diplomatic letters that filled the royal archives. These were intimate, personal notes that revealed a side of Elizabeth that history had never seen. In one letter, Whitmore wrote, "My dearest Bess, though the world may never know of our bond, know that every policy you craft, every decision you make, carries within it the wisdom of our shared thoughts." Elizabeth's replies were equally revealing. She wrote of their secret meetings in hidden chambers, of discussions that lasted through the night about matters of state, philosophy, and the future of England. She spoke of him as her true advisor, her intellectual equal, and her greatest love. But why had this relationship been hidden so completely that no trace of Thomas Whitmore existed in any official record? The political conspiracy. The answer lay in a series of documents found in one of the wooden boxes, correspondence between Elizabeth's closest advisors, including William Cecil and Francis Walsingham. These letters revealed a shocking conspiracy. Thomas Whitmore had been far more than just Elizabeth's secret love. He had been her unofficial co-ruler. Many of the decisions that history attributed solely to Elizabeth had actually been made jointly with Whitmore. But Whitmore came from a common family. He had no noble blood, no political connections, and no legitimate claim to influence. Elizabeth's advisors feared that if the relationship became public knowledge, it would undermine the Queen's authority and potentially destabilize the entire kingdom. So they made a decision that would echo through history. They systematically erased Thomas Whitmore from all official records. The erasure of history. The documents revealed the extraordinary lengths to which Elizabeth's advisors went to hide Whitmore's influence. They destroyed official portraits, removed his name from court records, and even went so far as to eliminate entire family lines from genealogical records. When Whitmore died in 1588, the same year as the Spanish Armada, Elizabeth was devastated. Her journal entries from that period reveal a woman broken by grief, yet forced to maintain the facade of the strong, independent Virgin Queen. "Today I buried not just my heart," she wrote, "but the true architect of England's golden age. History will remember Elizabeth alone, but those who truly shaped this realm lie forgotten in unmarked graves." The impact on history. The discovery of Elizabeth's secret room has forced historians to completely reassess the Elizabethan era. Many of the policies and decisions that defined Elizabeth's reign, from religious tolerance to naval strategy, now appear to have been collaborative efforts. The Spanish Armada victory, long attributed to Elizabeth's strategic genius, shows evidence of Whitmore's military insights in the newly discovered documents. The flourishing of arts and literature during her reign can now be traced to cultural policies that Whitmore helped develop. Even Elizabeth's famous speeches, including the iconic Armada speech at Tilbury, contain phrases and ideas that first appeared in her private correspondence with Whitmore. The modern revelation. This discovery has raised profound questions about how history is recorded and remembered. How many other influential figures have been deliberately erased from the historical record? How many achievements attributed to famous monarchs were actually collaborative efforts? Dr. Thornfield believes this find represents just the beginning. If Elizabeth's advisors could so completely erase someone as influential as Thomas Whitmore, she explains, we have to wonder what other secrets lie hidden in the walls of ancient palaces. The revelation has also changed our understanding of Elizabeth herself. Far from the lonely, isolated figure often portrayed in popular culture, she emerges from these documents as a woman who found both love and intellectual partnership, even if she could never acknowledge it publicly. The secret that changed everything. The story of Queen Elizabeth's secret room reminds us that history is often more complex and human than official records suggest. Behind the public facade of the Virgin Queen was a woman who loved deeply, collaborated closely with a brilliant partner, and ultimately sacrificed personal happiness for the stability of her realm. The room has now been opened to select researchers, and each new document studied reveals more about this hidden chapter of British history. The portrait found in the room, and now confirmed to be Thomas Whitmore, hangs in a place of honor in the private royal collection, finally acknowledged after centuries of erasure. Sometimes the most important discoveries aren't found in grand archaeological digs or famous battlefields. Sometimes they're hidden behind false walls, waiting patiently for the right moment to reveal the truth about the past. The Queen's secret room proves that even the most famous figures in history had hidden depths, secret partnerships, and private struggles that shaped the world in ways we're only beginning to understand.